Hello everyone, this is the week 9 video on physical disabilities, health impairment, and ADHD. I'm actually doing this Saturday morning as I'm going to be on vacation next week. I will still be available through email, and I'll be watching emails probably a little bit more than the last few weeks just because I'll be on vacation. I'll be up early and have the computer handy. So if you have questions on next week's items, definitely email discussion board FAQ if it's something that you think others might want the answer to also. For the coming week, week 9, you will have chapter 11 only, but you have your big observation report due at the end of the week. So if you're listening to this early, I'd recommend, like I said in the last video, to kind of get completed early if possible, and then go ahead and get started on next week's items. I think I've already got one that's actually taken the quiz, so you're ahead of the ball game, and that'll give you more time to get your observation report drafted and completed. Make sure you've got everything you need. So, excuse me. Review of last week. See that for chapter 8 we have 7 discussion boards finished and 8 quizzes. Good average for chapter 8 with an 8.5. So good job there. It looks like most of you are getting a great knowledge of that chapter 8. For chapter 10 we have 9 discussion boards and 7 quizzes completed. And for chapter 10, the average is actually 9.4, so almost all of you getting a 9 or a 10, which is kind of what I've seen in the past too. So good job there. 5 of you have also turned in your DI lesson plan already, so it's great. For those of you that haven't, make sure and go ahead and do that. And then go ahead and go back and get chapter 8's discussion board, or your discussion board for that week done. It's actually on your DI lesson plan, just 4 questions, so pretty easy, as long as you have enough wording there to give all your points there to that. Excuse me. Many of you are doing a good job getting done early, which is good. As I've said, next week you've got your observation report due, and I'd highly recommend that if you're listening to this early, go ahead and get started on that. If you haven't listened to the audio for both the observation report and the structured observation, I would highly recommend you do that today. If you're missing something at this point, all I can do and say is I hope you can get back in next week then and get whatever it is you need done, so you can get that completed, because this is a requirement of the course. If you do not have some of the required items, I won't be able to pass you in the class, and you will have to do some in the fall semester to get this part completed, which unfortunately I've had to do a couple times. So make sure and listen to that, and if you have questions, get on the FAQ or email me, depending on which one you want to do. At this time, I still have 10 students in the A and B range. So great job. I like to see that. And 2 of you in the C range. So keep up the hard work. I realize there have been a lot of you that have been talking and emailing me about work and problems and working a lot more than what you were hoping. So I applaud you for getting that done and also keeping up with the course. Especially since many of you have more than one class you're taking in the summer, which can be very taxing, to say the least. I've done it. I know what you're doing, and I applaud you for that. I also like reading your posts this week. I'm glad we didn't have any injuries in Chapter 10, and for those of you that haven't done Chapter 10, you'll understand what I'm saying whenever you look at what you need to do. I see many of you have stated you have a new understanding of adults and students who have visual impairments. That's what I've seen in the past. That's why I said last week, many of the times the class, this is the one thing they remember a lot more than some of the other items, is that they were able to excuse me, better understand what the people with vision impairments go through after this. So great job posting to your peers and finishing up these activities. I'm hoping I get through this. I don't know why my voice is cracking. This week's items. This week I'd recommend that you complete your reading and quiz for the chapter early. I'd actually try to get things posted even by Monday, not Monday or Tuesday morning, and Monday night, Tuesday morning, and that way you can get some of your discussion board in, and then Wednesday do some comments, and then get your quiz done possibly by Wednesday, Thursday morning, and then you'll have Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to really get that observation report put in and done. And then get on Saturday and Sunday as a little break. You can get back on the discussion board and add some more comments in there. And that's really the biggest thing that I'm seeing. I had some great feedback to people and great posts last week and the week before, but then because they only did it in one day's time, they lost a lot of points, or at least a decent amount of points for that. So make sure you're getting on there, at least 3 days of comments, so that I can see that your participation during the week is during the week and not just coming on there on one day and expecting to get all the points. So do that, and also the amount of comments, about 150 words for those different posts will get you your points. Otherwise, you'll lose points there too. So go ahead and keep working, keep trying. Let's see here. And really, what I'll do then is on your DI lesson plans, I will be using Notability again to get those graded and uploaded. My hope is that I'll have good internet service where I'm at. If not, it may be next Saturday when I actually get to post them on there. If I can, if it's just the internet link is not letting me upload, then what I'll do is at least give you your grade on there, and then when I get home Saturday and Sunday, I'll get on there and update that and put my comments and things to you. So I'll try to get that done. Normally I have pretty good service where I'm at, so I believe we'll be good. Let's see here if I got everything there. And then for your observation report, just make sure and follow the rubric. I would definitely go down through those. Again, I want you to get the most out of this observation report. I want you to get the points you deserve. So try to make sure and go through the rubric and go straight down the rubric. Make sure you're including the rubric in your document, and then make sure that everything is in that one folder, or that one document, if at all possible. Use your camera. You can use your phone to take pictures of the items of your notes and of the worksheet and of your structured observation. You do all of that. You can scan it and get it into your document however you need to get it in there, and that way it's there. Make sure you put your name as save as, so it would be your first initial, last name, observation report should be what your file is named. And I'm not going to go through as much on that because I've spent the last 2 or 3 weeks going through that, and I've also got the audio and the piece of paper there, files for you in the observation folder. So not going to go into that too much. But I enjoy this. One of the best times for me. I know the grading will take a while. It would take me about 1 to 2 weeks to get all of the observation reports graded. That's because I go through them once, and then I go back through them again to make sure that I'm being fair all the way across the board on points. And then after I've made sure that I've done a good job of grading, giving points accordingly, I'll give a grade for it. Now, if per se, since it is a big assignment next week, the observation report, if I get in there and I don't see some of the required components, or you have, in my opinion, left out quite a bit, I will email you back with what you need to add, and I'll give you a couple extra days to get that done. So make sure you're watching your email after you turn in your observation report. Again, my job is to teach you the items, and you may have done it. You may have a good idea, but you're just not good at putting it down on paper, or you forgot, or maybe you think you put it in there really good, and I just can't see it or don't understand what you're trying to say. I will give you an email on that. So make sure you're watching your school email after you turn in that observation report, because I'll only give you a couple days to get that updated so I can get it all in. Let's see here. The week after next. I know with me doing this on Saturday, it may feel strange that I'm doing this, but in week 10, you'll have 13 and 14 to do. Yes, there's only 3 chapters after you get done with next week. So you've got 13 and 14 on week 10. One is on giftedness and talented, and the other is on early childhood special education. On those, you'll have discussion board and quizzes for each one. And I also like to make sure you're continuing your DI resource collection. I'll be hooking up with y'all with your Pinterest. I've only gotten to 2 or 3, though, that have given me what they're doing it on. I'm getting quite concerned. I'll send some emails out. Maybe Sunday. If I haven't received any more, I'll send some out Sunday to those individual students to make sure that I know what they're doing. Because I will, I'll be starting to look at that, especially next week, to see how you're doing, making sure you're getting 6 of those items each week, and make sure you're covering all the categories of those items. The tech item for the week on this one is, let me go back there. If you're unsure what I'm talking about with the DI collection, go back to the previous week's videos, and you'll hear me talking about the DI collection. And there's also a short video for the DI collection that I did last year that you can look through and get some ideas on that too. Anyway, this week's tech item is I'm going to mention is the iMovie app. I know it's Apple, and some of you are not Apple, but so many schools have Apple computers or iPad carts. I thought it was worth mentioning. I've used this app as a final or as an end of the chapter assignment for students to show me what they've learned instead of doing a test or something like that. It's actually, I think, more enjoyable, even though to me it's just as much work. I can tell after watching the video what they've learned and what they haven't. The students have fun with it, and most everyone can work with the app within a couple days. I've actually, one of my cohorts hadn't used it. I was able to show her in about 5 minutes. She did a very good iMovie the next day when she was trying to use it with her part of the class. So I do recommend working with the trailers to start out with and not the actual iMovies. It's got trailers. They're great because they're already set up. They've got music behind it. All they have to do is figure out what they want to put in text boxes and what they want to put in their pictures, and they just put it in there. Students put in their own pictures and words. Then they have finished project that can be shown to the class. I have an Apple TV hooked up to my projector, so they can just go right from their iPad and show it to the entire class, or they can download it to me or upload it to me too. And if you don't have an iPhone, iPad, or Apple computer, please look at some of the videos on YouTube about iMovie trailers. I've also found PDF files for templates for each one of the trailers. So what I do is I ask them what iMovie trailer they're going to use, and then I'll have a PDF document I can print out that will have all the different text boxes they need, all the different pictures they need, and then they can go out and do that and fill out the worksheet, and then they hand in the worksheet to me also, so I can see that they've gone through the progression and they've organized it in a certain way to help them. I taught my cohorts in the class, in less than 20 minutes. Let's see. There's many tutorials about the iMovie trailer out there. And if you do have iMovie, take a few minutes and make your own video. Maybe you've got your dog, your cat, kids, a family, and you want to put something together. It's fun to get that done. So also you'll want to remember about your extra tech item that was introduced weekly last week. Well, actually I took that out. I don't know why. Last year I had a discussion board to tell everybody about a tech item that they had, but I believe I've taken that out. So I'll look here. Again, as far as the good stuff, I'm going to leave this kind of short this week. You're doing a great job overall. You're almost done. You've kept up the pace. You only have about 3, maybe 4 weeks left, depending on when you see this video. But pat yourself on the back. You've done well. Many of you are doing A and B work, and those that are not quite there, they're within points that if they do well on these last assignments, they'll be able to get up to what they want. But keep up the hard work this week. Try to get done by Wednesday or Thursday of the week so that you can go ahead and get started on the observation report and make sure that it's good. And again, make sure and follow the rubric. Look at the audio files that I've got in there so that you can get the best grade that you can by doing that. And that's basically what I'm going to tell you, is that if you want an A on that paper, or you need your A, you need your B, look at those 2 audio files first, follow the rubric, follow directions, and you'll be good. So anyway, goodbye. If you have any questions, make sure and email me, and I will get back to you. Have a great weekend and a great week.